guys, this is Wacco, and today I'm going to make a Destruction Warlock PvP guide, specifically the Shadowburn Cremation spec. I'm going to try to make this video shorter than my Affliction guide was, because that ended up being like 40 minutes or so. So yeah, I'm going to go over the strengths, weaknesses, talents, honor talents, artifact trait progression, and basic rotation, or what you should be doing. Okay, so some strengths are their crazy single target cleave, or not single target, their crazy two target cleave. You can put Havoc up on one target, and then put your full single target rotation on a different target, and it's going to hit the Havoc target as well. So it's like having double your single target rotation. It's very strong. And with talent Wreak Havoc, Havoc now lasts 20 seconds, and it no longer has a cooldown, versus being only 8 seconds long with a 20-second cooldown. For this spec, you should always go Wreak Havoc because you can have 100% uptime on Havoc, and that's too good to pass up. Another strength of this spec is they're a lot more mobile than their counterpart, the Focus Chaos build, or the Focus Chaos spec, because you can like run around and do stuff. The only thing that you actually have to cast is Fear, pretty much. Like, it's showing that a Molt has a cast time right now, but with the Honor Talent Cremation, Molt is now instant cast, and Conflag deals an additional 5% of the target's total health in fire damage. So yeah, then you're basically going to have all instant cast. You can just keep running around and, cleaving. And then Fear when you need to. And another strength is just how tanky Warlocks are with their two defensive cooldowns, Soul Leech, Health Stone, Drain Life, and Mortal Coil, I guess, that heals you too. But yeah, they just have a lot of self-healing and defensives. And I would say one of the only weaknesses of this class, besides just one of the only weaknesses of this class is their mobility in general. But that goes for all Warlocks, because the only mobility that we actually have is on the level 45 talent tree, Demonic Circle. But with this spec, I take Mortal Coil instead, and I'll get into why when I go over the talents. Alright, so that's the strengths and weaknesses, and now I'm going to go over the talents quickly. Level 15 tier, we have Backdraft, Roaring Blaze, and Shadowburn. Backdraft, casting Conflagrate reduces the cast time of Incinerate and Chaos Bolt by 30% for 5 seconds. You're probably never going to be casting Chaos Bolt in a PvP scenario with this spec anyway, so don't take that. Roaring Blaze, that does good damage. Conflag increases your remaining mold damage on the target by 25% until the mold expires or is refreshed. That's good, but this spec revolves around Shadowburn, so you should take Shadowburn. Costs 1 soul shard, it's instant cast, deals a pretty good chunk of damage. And if they die within 2 seconds, or if they die within 5 seconds, you get 2 soul shards back. So for this tier, I take Shadowburn. Level 30, you have Reverse Entropy, Cataclysm, and Mana Tap. Reverse Entropy is reduces the cast time of Chaos Bolt and Rain of Fire by 0.5 seconds. I don't know why they still have Rain of Fire. In I want to say September 26th hotfixes, they made Rain of Fire instant cast. So this basically just makes Chaos Bolt cast time shorter, and it restores mana. But again, we're not going to be casting Chaos Bolt much as this spec, if at all, so don't take that. Cataclysm is kind of an AoE ability. It has like a 2.5 second cast time. Does pretty good damage to everyone within 8 yards of your point of impact, and it also puts a Molt on everyone. But this is more of a PvP talent for like clearing out big packs in like Keystone Dungeons or something. You're never really going to use this in PvP, so go with Mana Tap, which consumes 25% of your current mana, and it grants you 10% increased damage for 20 seconds. That's kind of like a maintenance buff, but you should still keep it up because it's good. And I would suggest making like a weak aura, so when it's up, you can like down here, it'll show you like when it's up, so you don't have to like go look up in the corner over here. You can just keep it up, and when it's getting low, just refresh it. You'll have 100% increased, or not 100% increased damage. You'll have 10% increased damage at all times, which is nice. For level 45 tier, you have Demonic Circle, Shadow Fury, and Mortal Coil. I wouldn't take Demonic Circle because you already have a lot more mobility. Like maybe with a or you don't really have mobility, but it's all instant cast, so you can move a lot already. But maybe if you're like running the Focus Chaos build, you could take that, so you have some breathing room and whatnot, you know, to like get out of sticky situations. Shadow Fury, I probably still wouldn't use that. 1.25 second cast time, stuns all enemies within 8 yards for 4 seconds. In this tier, I would just say that Mortal Coil is better, because it horrifies enemies into fleeing, incapacitating them for 3 seconds, and healing you for 11% of your maximum health. And you can Havoc that too, so you can put Havoc up on someone, and if, let's say you're getting trained down by 2 people, you can Havoc someone and Mortal Coil the other one, and it'll just Mortal Coil them both off. So that's really good for peeling for yourself or peeling for allies. You can just peel 2 people off right away. So yeah, I would go Mortal Coil for this tier. This tier, level 60, Eradication, Chaos Bolt increases the damage deal to the target by 12% for 6 seconds. Again, we're not going to be casting Chaos Bolt that much, so don't go this for that spec. Fire and Brimstone, Incinerate now hits all enemies near your target. That is really good for PvE, like it basically makes Incinerate an AoE, so it hits everyone and does pretty crazy damage, but you're not ever going to have any situation where this is useful in like Arena, so just don't go that in Arena. I would go Soul Harvest, which increases your damage and your pet's damage by 20%. Last 10 seconds, increased by 2 seconds for each target afflicted by your emote, up to a maximum of 30 seconds. So that is a pretty good, just straight up damage buff for you and your pet. And these two are not very viable for this spec anyways, so go Soul Harvest 100% of the time. On the tier 75, we have Demon Skin, Burning Rush, and Dark Pact. Don't go Burning Rush, because these two are both defensives, and this, it increases your movement speed, so you can like kite, but it also like takes 4% of your maximum health per second. So I probably would never go this at all. Demon Skin is kind of a, alright, your Soul Leech Absorption is now passively recharging at a rate of 1% maximum health every 1 second, and may now absorb up to 20% of your maximum health. So that's like a passive kind of buff to Soul Leech. It's good, but I would go Dark Pact all the time, because it sacrifices 20% of your demon's current health to shield you for 400% of your sacrificed health for 20 seconds. If you have no demon, your health is sacrificed instead. Usable while suffering from crowd impairing effects. So basically, it gives you a huge shield, and you can use it while you're stunned. So that can be used in really clutch situations to save your life versus getting like trained down and just dying. So yeah, I would go that. It's only 1 minute cooldown too, so it's going to be up pretty often. Alright, for level 90, you have Grimoire Supremacy, Grimoire of Service, Grimoire of Sacrifice. I would not go Grimoire of Sacrifice. That sacrifices your demon, and then you sometimes deal extra damage. Like, it's good, it deals a lot of damage, but then you don't have a spell lock, and you need a spell lock in Arena. So just don't go Grimoire of Sacrifice. You can go for that in like World PvP or BGs or something just for fun, but in Arena, don't go Grimoire of Sacrifice, because you need that spell lock. Grimoire of Supremacy, you'll be able to control a Doomguard or Infernal. That is pretty good. Like, the Doomguard does pretty good damage, and he can cripple people, slowing them by 80% for, 4 seconds? And also, he has a spell lock, so you can go that. That's pretty good against melee. Like, you can just cripple them, and then they're slowed by 80%. But I like to go Grimoire of Service with this build. It gives me 2 spell locks, and it gives me the spell lock for my Fell Hunter, first of all. And then it also, I'm just going to explain what this talent does first. It summons the second demon that fights for you for 25 seconds and deals 100% increased damage. 1.5 minute cooldown. This demon will immediately use one of its special abilities when summoned. And if you can see right there on the bottom under Grimoire Fell Hunter, when you summon a Fell Hunter with this ability, it interrupts the target, so then you have 2 interrupts, and also, because you don't go this, you also have Summon Infernal as an ability that you can use to stun people, which you could also use as an interrupt and a damage cooldown. but I'll get into that when I go over the artifact traits. And then last, so probably go Grimoire of Service or Grimoire of Supremacy depending on the situation. I prefer Grimoire of Service with this spec. Alright, level 100, you have Wreak Havoc, Soul Conduit, and Channel Demon Fire. Soul Conduit, every soul shard you spend has a 20% chance to be refunded. That's good, more soul shards is more damage. Channel Demon Fire launches 15 bolts of Fire over 2.5 seconds at random targets afflicted by your molt within 40 yards. Each bolt deals, that number changes for PvP, but it says 15,961 fire damage with a 12.5 second cooldown. That's also not bad, but Wreak Havoc is just, Wreak Havoc is just way too good to pass up for this build because you will have a 100% uptime of Havoc and be able to hit everyone with all of your single target abilities. Or you'll be able to hit 2 people with your single target abilities and just cleave down 2 people. That's just really strong. So level 100, go Wreak Havoc with this build. Alright, now I'm going to go over the honor talents for Destruction Warlock. Tier 1 you have Gladiator's Medallion, Adaption, and Relentless. Gladiator's Medallion is just like a trinket. You click it, breaks you out of CC on a 2-minute cooldown. Adaption removes any loss of control effect with a duration of 5 seconds or more. This effect can only occur once every 1 minute. And Relentless, duration of incoming crowd control effects is reduced by 20%. I would always go Gladiator's Medallion 100% of the time. Unless you're playing Human or Orc, then I would go Relentless, because that stacks up really well with their passive and active racials. For Tier 2, you have Train of Thought, Mind Quickness, and Initiation. Like anybody who has this is their second tier, you should go Mind Quickness most of the time. That's just a straight up 6% haste increased. Train of Thought, damage is increased by 15%. Being attacked will cancel this effect for 8 seconds. There's probably not going to be any time in Arena that you're not being attacked for 8 seconds, like in a row. So this will just become totally obsolete and useless. And Initiation, the critical strike chance of your damaging abilities and attacks is increased by 30% on targets at or above 80% health. That can be good, but it's just not as strong as just a straight up 6% haste increase. So for the Tier 2, I would just always go Mind Quickness. Tier 3, you have Curse of Tongues, Curse of Weakness, Curse of Fragility. Curse of Tongues, when you cast it on someone, it makes all of their spells take 30% longer to cast for 10 seconds. Curse of Weakness reduces the target's physical damage dealt by 25% for 10 seconds. And Curse of Fragility reduces the target's maximum health by 10%, or by 20% for 10 seconds. Curse of Fragility is just really strong because you can just reduce the target's maximum health by 20% and then burst them down. Or like if you're setting up for a burst, you can use that, and then you and your partner can just like wreck the target because there's going to be 20% less health to burn through, so you can probably kill them a lot faster. So I would go this most of the time. Curse of Tongues is good against like healers too, because you can put that on them and they're going to be doing 30% less healing with their casted heals because it's going to take them 30% longer to cast them. So that can be pretty good too. Curse of Weakness is good against like warriors, I guess, people who do primarily physical damage, but I would still say Curse of Fragility is a better choice in general. For this tier, Tier 4, you have Essence String, Casting Circle, Netherward. Casting Circle summons a Casting Circle for 10 seconds. While within the Casting Circle, the duration of silences and interrupt effects are reduced by 70%. I would never go Casting Circle just because Essence Drain and Netherward are a lot stronger. Essence Drain, whenever you heal yourself with Life Drain, the enemy target deals 10% reduced damage to you for 6 seconds, stacking up to 5 times, so you can get a target to do 50% less damage to you, which is really strong. I would go this a lot of the time, but again, it's not as useful as if you're playing an Affliction Warlock, because you're going to be using Drain Life a lot more as an Affliction Warlock, because it deals 200% more damage. But this is still really good if you're getting trained down. And then Netherward, this is my favorite ability ever. You can use it and it'll reflect all spells cast on you back at the caster for 5 seconds. This can totally change a game. like I've had games where I was really low, almost dead. The mage was like half health, and he starts casting a glacial spike on me, and like for most people, it's like, okay, I'm gonna die, but you can hit Nether Ward right before he finished casting glacial spike, and it'll just reflect it right back in his face and just one hit him, and can totally change the game. So Nether Ward is really strong against casters, and Essence Drain is just strong in general. So I would take Essence Drain a lot of the time, and Nether Ward, like if you're going up against like big bursty casters like Frost Mage or Focus Chaos, Destruction Warlocks. So you can just reflect some of those really crazy burst spells right back in their face. Alright, so tier 5, you have Cremation, Focus Chaos, Firestone. Focus Chaos, the Chaos Bolt damage. Okay. Chaos Bolt damage is increased by 100%, but no longer strikes additional targets afflicted by Havoc. See, that's good, but that's more of a focus or that's like for the Chaos Bolt spec, not for this. Plus, you're like your whole rotation is based off of Havoc, and you're not going to be casting Chaos Bolt anyway, so don't go this with this spec at least. Firestone restores 2 soul shards, increasing your spell critical strike chance by 100% for 7 seconds. That's good because, well, it's good, but if you get locked down during those 7 seconds, it just becomes totally obsolete, so it's a nice little buff, but I would still always go Cremation, because that makes your Molt instant cast, and Conflag deals an additional 5% of the target's total health and fire damage, and that's just really strong, because then you can just be on the move, putting your Molts up, and do more damage with Conflag. So yeah, for this tier, go Cremation 100% of the time. Last tier, you have Entrenched in Flame, Fell Fissure, and Bane of Havoc. Bane of Havoc is like an AoE Havoc you can put on the ground. It's really good in like RBGs and BGs, but in Arena it's not, so don't go that in Arena. Fell Fissure, Chaos Bolt creates an eruption of fell fire under the target, dealing shadow damage every 1 second, and reduces all healing received by 50% for 10 seconds to all enemies within 5 yards of the initial target. Like, even if we were casting Chaos Bolt, I still wouldn't go this, because when it says 5 yards under the initial target, it's literally just like a tiny little area under the target. He can just move out of it and he'll be fine. And even if he stayed in it, the only good part about it is the 50% reduced healing. The damage it does is really underwhelming, I guess you could say. So don't go Fell Fissure. I would go Entrenched in Flame 100% of the time, always, because it Conflag now roots your target for 3 seconds, and this effect does not break from damage. So that's really good. You can like root people and fear them off of that, or do whatever with it. It's really good. Gives you some extra CC to work with, and yeah, it's super strong honor talent. So I would go Gladiator's Medallion, Mind Quickness, Curse of Fragility, or Curse of Tongues. Mostly Curse of Fragility. This one, Nether Ward or Essence Drain, depending on the situation. Then Cremation and Entrenched in Flame 100% of the time. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the artifact trait progression. First thing you want to do when you're progressing through your artifact is look at your 3 golden traits and decide which one you want to work toward first. Destruction Warlock's 3 golden traits is Dimensional Ripper. Incinerate has a 5% chance to grant an additional charge of Dimensional Rift. Conflag and Chaos. Conflag has a chance to guarantee your next Conflag critically strikes and to increase its damage by your critical strike chance. And Lord of Flames. Once every 10 minutes, Summon Infernal will summon 3 additional Infernals to serve you for 25 seconds. So I would go for one of these 2 first, and I would just probably go this way, go Devourer of Life, get Residual Flames, and then Conflag of Chaos, and then come down back through here and get Eternal Struggle, Burning Hunger, and Lord of Flames. I would also stick a point in Impish Incineration, because like that can be useful in some situations, and an 18% increased damage on your Imp's Firebolt is good, especially for just 1 point. So I would grab that, and then I would come back through here, increases the damage dealt by Incinerate by 12%, and then Demonic Durability reduces the cooldown of Unending Resolve by 30 seconds. And after that, the rest of these talents are not very good for like the Shadowburn spec. but because like, all right, Soul Snatcher, Chaos Bolt has a 15% chance to refund 1 Soul Shard. Chaotic Instability increases critical strike damage dealt by Chaos Bolt by 3%. Fire and Flames reduces the cast time on Incinerate by 2%, and Dimensional Ripper. Incinerate has a 5% chance to grant an additional charge of Dimensional Rift. None of those really are that good for the Shadowburn spec, but I just go down through Soul Snatcher. I'm going to get Chaotic Instability and then this, and then I'll just fill out whatever else there is left. Because for PvE, I usually still go the Chaos Bolt spec, because it's pretty strong in my opinion. For PvE at least. Not so much for PvP anymore after the nerfs. But yeah, I would just grab those or grab whatever you want, I suppose. Whatever works best for you. But none of these are all that significant for the Chaos Bolt spec, or for the Shadowburn Cremation spec. So yeah, that is how I would progress my artifact. Get Conflag of Chaos first, then go to Lord of Flames, then work your way down through here. And this demonic durability is super good too, because that reduces the cooldown on Unending Resolve to 1 minute, up from 1 minute and 30 seconds. So you'll be able to take 40% less damage, even more. So yeah, that is strong. And in case you guys didn't know, relics don't work in PvP, so just go for the highest item level relic and stick with that. So yeah, that covers the artifact progression. Okay, so now I'm just going to really quick over what you should be doing in a PvP situation. Keep a Molt up on your targets at all time. Try to keep Havoc up 100% of the time, so you have that 2-target cleave, but be careful not to break CC with Havoc. So like, if your target's like Feared, Polyed, Hexed, or something, don't put, or keep Havoc off of them, because you're just going to end up breaking CC. Use Conflag on cooldown, and use Shadowburn when you have Soul Shards for that instant cleave damage. And use Dimensional Rift for burst. So yeah, use Emote, Shadowburn, Conflag, Havoc, and Dimensional Rift for like your main damaging abilities, and then all of your other abilities are pretty situational, like Mortal Coil to peel, defensive cooldowns if you're getting trained down and your healer's having trouble keeping you up, just for that little, extra damage reduction. And yeah, just use everything situationally. Alright, so I just hopped into a quick skirmish just to show you guys like what it's like in an actual PvP situation. I know that scrims are not the best way to show this, but none of my partners are online right now, so I just figured I'd jump into a scrim quick just to show you guys what's up. So I'm going to put Emote up on the target. See that's instant cast. Snare him, put Havoc up on him. Where'd the mage go? Over him, interrupt Poly, put Havoc up on him, start spamming Shadowburns. Pop my cooldowns, put Conflag on him, to root him, do that. More Shadowburns. Shadowburn, Shadowburn, Shadowburn. Put down this. Boom, stun. Boom, boom, dead. Oh, Ice Block. I'm gonna wait a sec, and as soon as he's out of Ice Block, I'm gonna fear him. Ice Block, see Gladius is telling me that, so I can do this, and it's gonna fear him right out of Ice Block. Never mind, he interrupted that. So I will do that, spam some more Shadowburns, put them both back up on him, and he's dead. Alright guys, so I'm well aware that that scrim was probably not the best way to show the true potential of the Shadowburn spec in PvP, but the main thing I wanted to get across there was that Conflag roots targets in PvP and Emote is instant cast in PvP, and I got that across. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to show there, and thank you guys for watching. Like if you liked the video, dislike if you did not like the video. Please leave any feedback in the comments, because this is still a very new channel, and any feedback is very much appreciated. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to check out the Affliction Warlock video, you can click the annotation in the corner. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. Peace.
I remember